Christmas in America by Clarissa Greenridge, illustrated by Susan Archerio. I wanted to open this book this way so you could see. It shows a whole Christmas tree and then people on the side here. That's a really neat cover. It was Ellis the elephant's favorite time of the year, full of wonderful stories he wanted to hear. Tales of traditions of Christmas long ago, a cherished part of the America we know. America at Christmas is a wonderful place, full of comfort and joy and the gift of God's grace. It's a time for remembering what matters the most, like kindness and faith in those we keep close. The story begins before our nation became to be, with a small group of settlers and their Christmas at sea. They'd set off from London, the New World in their sights, to establish a colony and extend English might. On Christmas Day, their ships were still miles from land, so together they celebrated with what was on hand. They prayed to meet the challenges that were in store, building the settlement of Jamestown on a distant shore. Soon American colonies were founded. Up and down the coast, new cities abounded. Christmas in Virginia was a time of good cheer, for gathering together traditions held dear. They feasted on pies and drank cider till late, while dancing and singing to help celebrate. Ellis thought that what fun it was to travel by sleigh through Williamsburg streets on a bright Christmas day. Here he is in a sleigh. The American Revolution made Christmas time rough, for an army of patriots fed barely enough. On the verge of defeat after all they had tried, General Washington needed to turn away the war's tide. He crossed the Delaware River late Christmas night with what remained of his army ready to fight. In Trenton, the Hennessy's were caught by surprise, and the Patriots' victory began, the British demise. There's our American flag right there. There's General George Washington. Ellis was proud of what the Patriots achieved and how they built a nation on what they believed. For independence and freedom, they fought for a long war. Now peace was back and Christmas merry once more. At George Washington's home, the party was complete, with a humpback camel for his many guests to meet. That Christmas, Mount Vernon was a bit of a zoo. Ellis imagined the fun of being there too. Here's a camel, and here's the bald eagle right here. During the great expedition of Lewis and Clark, the long winter of 1804 was quite stark. On the Great Plains they found shelter from the snow, with most of their journey still left to go. Christmas morning began with a thunderous bang as a volley of glorious cannon shot rang. The corpse of discovery enjoyed music and rest, and a break from the voyage deep into the west. See, Ellis is carrying the flag. And there's that bald eagle again, right there. President Andrew Jackson was a Santa of sorts, giving presents to orphans in need of support. Jackson was an orphan himself as a child, and On Christmas, he wanted to make sure kids smiled. The White House, he invited an eager young crowd for a big Christmas frolic. No adults were allowed. Children stomped cheerfully through the mansion's great halls, delighting in a fight of cotton snowballs. The Civil War divided America too. The South, Confederate gray, and the North, Union blue. The issue was slavery. Would it still be allowed in a nation that held its liberty proud? For soldiers, Christmas offered no break from the war, nor the peace of joy of many seasons before. But Ellis learned that some enjoyed a holiday treat, a Christmas tree decorated with dry salt meat. We still ate a Christmas tree. There's the bald eagle, and he has a present here. The Christmas season was happy on the frontier. Making the end of a long and difficult year, pioneers worked together, helping those in need, devoted to making their communities succeed. Families gathered together in churches for prayer, giving thanks to the Savior that they all shared. They spoke of an infant so tender and mild, born in a manger, the holy Christ child. See, there's what they built. President Teddy Roosevelt had a playful side, a passion for fun that he just couldn't hide. On Christmas, he and his wife Edith were keen to throw the best party the White House had seen. Wow, look at all these goodies on the table. More than 500 children came for the day to a great Christmas carnival, ready to play. Exhausted from dancing and stuffed full of treats, Ellis thought this Christmas bash couldn't be beat. See, there he is. He has a cupcake. World War I took American troops overseas to engage in a fight that left the nation displeased. Many young soldiers spent Christmas in a trench, defending their allies, the British and the French. In France, children worried that Santa wouldn't come, but the Americans would not let their Christmas be glum. They collected small gifts and decorated a tree and gathered in a church where their foes couldn't be. So look, it looks like they're having some candy canes. Ellis was grateful when peace finally returned, along with the troops, their victory hard earned. Under President Coolidge, America was roaring, the times were exciting, and the country was soaring. But one thing was missing. This Ellis knew. A national Christmas tree was long overdue. So the president decorated a giant fir tree. He flipped on a switch and lit up Washington, D.C. So our first national Christmas tree. By the late 1920s, the boom came to an end, leaving many Americans with no money to spend. The Great Depression was hard and left families in fear, but Ellis thought they could use some good Christmas cheer. Norman Rockwell was a well-known artist of the day. With a love for America, he painted away. He spread Christmas joy when it was needed the most, putting Santa on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post. American troops spent Christmas in 1944 in the Battle of the Bulge during the Second World War. A few found their way to a home Christmas night and were soon invited for rest for the fight. As they sat down to eat they heard a loud knock. It was a group of German soldiers, an alarming shock. But in the house they agreed all fighting would cease, and together they shared a Christmas meal in peace. So they all got together and had a meal together. On this journey, Ellis's imagination swirled. Blasting off on Apollo 8 was out of this world. The brave astronauts were in outer space soon, on a mission to the first orbit to the moon. On Christmas Eve, they broadcast a message to the nation, reading from the Bible, the story of creation. The astronauts sent pictures, 1,000 words worth, along with Christmas blessings to everyone on Earth. So here's the spaceship, and here's the Earth. Christmas is a time for giving thanks to God above, for treating friends and neighbors with compassion and love. It is a season of joy and memories to recall, for counting our blessings, both great and small. America is at its best this time of year, full of charity, kindness, hope, and good cheer. Though many challenges, our nation has survived, and Americans have always kept Christmas alive. What a good book is that. I wanted to read you more. I hope you enjoyed it. Christmas in America.